Hey everybody, it's RaceCar0 here from ForgeWatch.com. I just wanted to make a quick video here, just kind of showing off how to use the Forum Games spreadsheet that we use pretty much all the time. So as you'll see, I'm just here on SolForgeGame.com, and I'm just going to kind of take you step by step through the entire process. Because I know for a lot of people it's kind of intimidating to get into forum games, but it's really actually a lot easier than you think. Probably the most important thing that you're going to need to do before you get to this point is just make sure that you go download OpenOffice. It is a free program, and if you Google it, it'll take you right to it. So just make sure that you have that installed already. I already do on my system, so going and downloading that's kind of outside of this video, but it should be easy enough for you to follow along. But all you have to do is just come in here to SolForgeGame.com, and you'll see that we've got this sticky here, spreadsheet for forum game management. This is actually something that was made by one of our fellow forum gamers, Darenth, and he's just got a spreadsheet that's here available in this first post, along with some instructions on maybe how to use it. But like I said, for some people it's still a little intimidating, so I'm just going to go ahead and click through and do the download on it right now, and you'll see that it's downloaded there. I'm just going to go ahead and double click it right now. You'll see that OpenOffice just tried to record, or excuse me, to open there, and you're going to get this screen. This is probably the first screen that most people get freaked out about. Essentially, what you'll want to do here is make sure that you have your macros enabled. And I think for the first time when people download OpenOffice, one of the things that they don't know to do is to make sure that they have their macros turned on. So if you just go to your preferences, or I don't know if you're a Windows user, figure out some way to get to this screen. I haven't used Windows in a long time, so I don't know exactly where it's at. But anyway, you want to get to this screen where you can essentially edit the security options. And you can kind of change this macro security. I keep it on medium just so that way it always asks me, but you can set it to low if you just want it to always allow you to have macros available. So that's essentially what you want to make sure that you have set up first, because the first time you load up the spreadsheet, it'll just load the spreadsheet without the macros enabled. So you do need to make sure that you go through that security check for it. You can either, like I said, have it ask you every time it loads up, or you can just set it to low on the security and it'll automatically load it with the macros every time. So you'll come in here to this first screen, the options screen. You'll see that we've got a lot of different tabs down here on the very bottom where you'll essentially find the hand drawing mechanism, the deck building mechanism, the list of all the cards that are in the spreadsheet, and in a sec I'll show you how you can add cards to that later if you need to. A README section as well. But most importantly, just here, you'll see that we have a lot of different options. Most of this can be ignored if you just want to get right into forum games right away. Probably the most important thing is you want to push for the 3x deck. You can choose to change your player name there. The coloring, I don't know if that actually is working with the way that the new forums were. Back in the old forums, it was actually really nice. If you wanted to be able to color your turn now, I think you just have to kind of play it and then color it later. But yeah, just push that 3x deck and then just hit create deck list. And what that essentially does is you'll see over here in this deck field, it's changed it so that way now when you get into these fields and you've got that little drop down box, if you select a card, it will automatically fill in all 3 cards in the slot. So it's really great for just building a quick 10 card deck. But if you wanted to kind of play around with your numbers a little bit, and I like to do that sometimes, it is one of those things where all you have to do is essentially just go to a different drop down and you can say, no, I want one of those to be an Electronet instead. And essentially from here you can just build out your deck. So if you just go through and just kind of, I'm going to randomly fill in things here, and you'll just see that it becomes really fast filling. Very, very easy to do. And probably the next thing that I'm going to show you is just how you'll actually set up an in-game field, play field, which I think is also intimidating for a lot of people. I got a lot of double cards in here, but you'll forgive me for that, just because I am trying to go pretty quick. And I'm not really caring if I have cards that we normally ban for forum games, but just whatever. So here I've got my crazy deck built, and from here you'll move over to the play screen for when you're actually playing the turn. So if you just hop into the forum games, create a new topic, just say, hey, we'll call this a casual game. Hey, look, I've actually got a little thing there that says, hey, me versus you. And this is like a great way to just kind of put it out there saying, hey, I'm looking for someone. You just say, hey, I'm looking to play a game, and I'll go first, right? And normally you don't necessarily have to go first. But in this case, I'm just going to show you really quick how it is that you would make a turn. Probably the most important thing that you'll want to do is grab a field section, and you can do this just from one of the blank pages that they have within the spreadsheet here. So this is actually the log section, and all you need is a 7x3 section worth of grid here, and you just copy that, and then if you paste it in, you'll notice the grid goes in there. The way you fill this out is you just put your name in that first one, put your opponent's name there in the second one, fill out lane 1, and then fill out all the other lanes. I'm just going to copy paste here because it's going to go a lot quicker that way. This first setup is probably the most intimidating one, and honestly, if you wanted to, you could probably grab all of this information from another forum game that's already made. You just put in the life totals, and there you have it. So that's kind of the whole grid-like board position, very, very easy to set up. And then as far as how your turn goes, let's hop back to that play tab, and you'll see this. Probably the most important thing that you need to know is whatever you do, don't let one of these boxes be selected. Make sure that your selected box is outside of that anytime you go to draw the hand, otherwise it can bug out a little bit. But you'll see I've hit that draw hand button. It'll tell me what turn I'm on here. So I just hop back in here and say, oh, it's my turn 1. Next up I need my hand. And this one you can just hop in, copy and paste the hand. And now just say, oh, okay, well, I'm going first. I want to play zombie infantry into lane 2. So there's lane 2 for me. And just type zombie infantry. And put the stats. And the interesting thing is this all kind of looks scrunched up here, but funnily enough, when you preview it, or when you actually post it, it will spread it out for you to an appropriate distance. So you don't really have to worry about it if it looks funky in your actual post. It'll be fine when it actually comes through in the end. Just a couple of things as far as forum game etiquette. Anytime a creature is on the defensive, we usually like to mark it with a star. We also like to mark the creature's level, so that way it's easy for people to tell what level a creature is at. So star for defensive, make sure you get your creature level, and then also just kind of the current attack and health for the zombie infantry is also there. And you can find that, again, this is all just in the spreadsheet. So as you look at your hand, on the left side you'll see the rank or the level. You'll get your card name, and then your power, toughness, or if it's a spell or a structure or any of those kinds of things. It's all listed here. So in this particular instance, I know Zombie Infantry 1 is a 6/5 because the spreadsheet tells me. And then it'll also give you just kind of a reminder, hey, this is what it does at whatever level it is. So for instance, Druid's Chant, it heals 8 damage from target creature or player at level 1. So it's just one of those things just to kind of help you get through that. And so if you were to post your turn, and I'm not going to do that because I don't want to create a junk thread in the forum games, but this is what it would look like here. And the way that you would kind of perpetuate the turns is as you reply, you just kind of grab everything that's in the box there, and you copy and paste it into your next post. Make sure that you leave yourself some space to write at the top, or just start getting righted. Start writing something down first before you copy and paste the gridding, because sometimes it can be difficult to actually copy and paste beforehand or after. If you wanted to ever type after, it's just kind of good to have those things. But yeah, just copy and paste that in, and that's the turn. And you just change the things that are in the lanes as you go, and it's really super easy. In this particular instance, I think, I don't know if the spreadsheet's actually been updated with all of the latest cards. I don't see Ferocious Roar in there. So if you have to, since the spreadsheet's kind of not getting updated as much anymore as we get closer and closer to the beta, it's really easy to add a new card in the spreadsheet. All you do is you just select a line's worth of stuff by grabbing a number. Make sure that you kind of keep it within the same factions. It's probably going to be easier for you to find stuff that way if you do. So select the line, right click on that line and just insert row. And then you'll notice that we have an entirely new blank row. So I'm going to go ahead and put Ferocious Roar in here. It is a spell at all 3 ranks, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then you just type in the descriptions. You don't necessarily have to type in the descriptions. Just by virtue of having filled out those first parts, you're probably fine. And as long as you know what the card does, it's okay. But I like to fill it all the way out with all the text, just because then I don't get things wrong, and I can kind of use the spreadsheet to go back as a reference. So all creatures get +1, +1. I guess it's technically all your creatures, because your opponent's creatures don't get that. And then again, just kind of copy and paste. Copy and paste here. Make sure that I change these so that way it's the right stuff. And we'll go ahead and sneak over here, because this one gets all sorts of better. +5, +5, and breakthrough. And now that that's in there, if I go back to my deck and I say, oh, I want to switch out Zemus for Ferocious Roar, if I go scrolling through, there it is. And now I have my Ferocious Roar, and it's in my deck, and I don't know how that would actually interrupt things. Probably don't want to change your deck midway through, because it's going to cause funky things to happen as far as playing your game. But you just save these files for each game that you play, and if you want to just reset a match, you just click this little button up here, the one with the big red X. The draw hand button will now do the shuffling for you. It didn't used to do that. And these are for playing your cards out. So, for instance, the way the deck tracks things is, say, I played a Vengeful Spirit. I just click Play Card. It notes that the card is played, and then I draw my next hand, and I can, choose other cards to play, and it will remember all of these cards that I've played as I shuffle. And now you'll see that I have a level 2 Bone Scythe Reaver and a level 2 Vengeful Spirit. So the deck just kind of automatically shuffles for you, remembers what cards you played. What cards you played are found in the log. At what turns, it shows you everything that you got in your hand and what it was that you played. It also kind of gives you some statistics on how your deck played out. And if you have really awful errors, you can come back to this deck screen, follow some of the advice that's in that forum game management thing. Essentially, you can change some of these numbers around just to kind of, fix your deck should you happen to advance your hand too far. And if you ever run into a problem, honestly, just talk to people. We can help you through it. A lot of us have really great experience with the spreadsheet, and the more you play with it, the better off it gets. So if you do end up running into an issue, sometimes we can help you roll it back. But hopefully this kind of takes some of the, scariness out of the spreadsheet and playing forum games. It's really actually very easy to set up. Very easy to play, because mostly it's just a ton of copy pasting and that's it. And playing tends to go very quick. Probably not as quick as the client, because client you can often bang out games anywhere between 15 minutes and a half an hour. And forum games, if you're, say, both Skyping each other or something like that, tops out usually at about an hour's worth of play. But come find us for a game. We'd love to help you out. You can definitely challenge me to a match at any time you like. I would love to play you. And I hope to see a lot more people in the forum games. We expect to be playing them for a while, even after the beta starts, just because we won't have constructed decks right away. So if you want to have that chance, this would be a really great way for you to do it. Just come and join us, and you'll see we've got lots of games, lots of people having a ton of fun. playing constructed decks. So once again, RaceCar0 from ForgeWatch.com, and hope to see you in the forum game soon.